We are now getting an important piece of breaking news from the Asian Games that are currently on the way in China. Now, reigning Olympic and world champion Neeraj Chopra claimed gold at the Asian Games, but only after considerable drama and a stiff competition from his compatriot Kishore Kumar Jena, who ended with silver. Now, Neeraj's medal came after a bizarre goof-up at the start, with the officials seemingly unable to measure the distance of Neeraj's first heave into the night. The entire throw, in fact, looked like it had landed near the 85-meter mark. But after a long discussion between the officials with Neeraj hovering by their table, they decided that the Indian should rethrow his first attempt due to technical glitch on their part. Now, all this controversy has led to a very strong reaction, this time by Anju Bobby George, who is a senior vice president, Athletics Federation of India. Now, she's claimed that China is trying to cheat us and disturb our athletes. In fact, Ms. George is with us on the broadcast. Ms. George, that's a very, very serious allegation that you're making. What has led to these claims first?
Well, from the first day itself, we could feel that some kind of the problems are happening with our athletes. It happened first with our walkers. Someone else was doing foul, and they actually kept our athletes aside for a few minutes. And then it happened with Jyoti. Everyone has seen that. And then Anurani's first throw javelin also, they actually, without measuring, they were doing something, and then it's happened with Srinagar in long jump, and again it happened with Neeraj and Jinnah also.
Okay.
So this was a continuous thing. It was not just happened with one athlete. It was with many athletes. And Neeraj, he is our prestigious world champion, Olympic champion, and something happening with him and disturbing during his even it's with any athlete during the competition, disturbing by officials is unaccepted, and it's against our sports code. And see, the politics, we cannot mix the politics and sports. So this is something else, and this is Asian Games. This is not a small competition, and all the officials actually, it is pre-planned, I guess. Otherwise, maybe for one athlete would have, but with many athletes and continuously, this is something actually, in my guess, it was pre-planned, and this is the thing what happened.
Ma'am, these examples, of course, that you are quoting has happened. The first throw had to be redone by Neeraj Chopra. The second by Jena had to be redone, and they were claiming technical glitches. Of course, this has also been happening in the past. Have you really zeroed in on whether it's only happening to the Indian athletes, if that can be spoken about?
Yeah, in my understanding, it happened with only Indian athletes, and no one else complained about such kind of bad officiating, and it never came into my knowledge. So it was continuously happening with our Indian athletes.
Okay. Now, when the Asian Games was starting, with regards the players from Arunachal Pradesh, there was already a controversy that we saw being played out, because of which our Union Sports Minister decided to skip this entire event in China. Do you think the repercussions, and like you rightly said, the political ramifications and the diplomatic standoff that continues between India and China due to border dispute, that is now spilling onto the sporting field as well?
Maybe, but I'm not sure. And it happened our fencers also, in other sport also, they were complaining, same thing happened. So this is not only with athletics, it happened with other games also. So I think I'm not sure what is politically happening behind, but in our field what happened, I know.
Ms. George, considering India's medal tally is rapidly increasing, and that's something that every Indian is going to be proud of, China still remains at the top with the number which is broadly in its favor. Do you think that also is kind of rattling China, because of which we see controversy like this being played out on the sporting arena?
No, China is way ahead of us. We are not their gold medal itself is more than 100. So in that sense, we are not competing with them. so we are a little behind in that sense by medal tally. But this is sport, and everybody. This is Asian Games, such a big game,
Absolutely.
and everybody is here. And once in 4 years, it's happening. All the hard work what our athletes are putting, and that they have to get it here. And because no, this is not because of their fault, because of the bad officiating, something happening to our athletes. And see, each medal is counting, and each medal is valuable. And if they are missing, if Neeraj, his first throw was very huge. Actually, it is a huge throw, and if he is not able to reproduce that throw in the other five throws, then he will miss the goal. Is that
Absolutely.
fair? I'm asking. Is that
Absolutely.
fair?
Ma'am, as the Senior Vice President, Athletics Federation of India, are you planning to raise this issue with the authorities, at the Asian Games, or escalate the matter? Is there any way India can proceed with this?
Yeah, definitely. During the competition, right away we protested, and now we are planning to take it up to the World Athletic Body because our president, Mr. Adil, he is vice president of International Athletic Body also, so he can take up this matter there. And the strict action should be taken against all these officials, and they have to be like get the ban from for the officiating. That is my view, and the Athletic Federation of India will definitely take the step forward to bring this kind of menace, and we will bring these issues in front of the world body definitely.
And one final thing that I'd want you to, in fact, just explain to our viewers, because we are constantly playing out those visuals where there were deliberations that are happening after Neeraj Chopra was asked to rethrow after the first attempt. And he's having those deliberations. You've called this entire incident bizarre. Do you know about the kind of response that Chopra or Jenna received over the queries? All right, I think we
They were
seem to.
without.
All right. Ms. George, were you able to hear my question?
Yes, yes, yes. Can I answer it?
Yes, please. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. The first throw, Neeraj was throwing the first, and the throw actually without measuring, they allowed the second athlete to throw. And the same thing happened with Anurani also one day before. The first throw they were not measuring, but after 5 minutes they measured. But I think the measurement was wrong because her throw was further, and Neeraj's throw actually they were not ready to measure it. It was a huge throw, and they asked after almost 20 minutes they asked Neeraj to throw it again. And Jinnah, there was one foul throw, but it was not a foul. He was 1 feet behind, and again they called foul, and we protested. Then they measured it. So why this happening? Why this happening? This is actually all with new technology. All this foul and everything is measured by new technology and this new world. And in front of the world, they are doing this, and this is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. Long back in 20 years, long back during my world championships in Paris, where I got the first medal, same thing happened. But the technology was not this great. India was not a superpower then, and nobody was there to raise our voice. But I could manage to win a medal. But that's long back story. And still, this is 2023, and again this is happening. And this is not acceptable.
Absolutely. And do you think as a first step, the people that we see on the screen as referees, they need to be removed so that that entire controversy can be looked at and it is in fact fair play, by the authorities and by everybody who's involved in the Asian Games?
Yeah, during the competition, it's not possible because that will delay the competition. Athletes will going to suffer. So during the competition, they cannot replace the official because that will be a lengthy procedure. But after the competition, we can protest and we can give our voice to the world body and these official. Maybe they are getting some voice from top that to do such kind of things. But these officials are going to suffer.
Ma'am, final question. There are obviously a lot of other inputs left and more games to be played. What is the immediate step that India can do so that our athletes, like yesterday, do not have to suffer when they are giving their best at the Asian Games?
The immediate step, athlete can protest there itself, and they can remeasure, they can measure, and under protest they can compete. That is the first thing what they can do. And as officials, we can go and protest again within half an hour, paying $100. That we also did. And after that, the next procedure is that we have to write to the World Athletic Body
Yes.
that in during Asian Games such kind of incident happened, and this is against our. This is not advisable or this is not acceptable. And according to the rule, we have to punish the officials. So India has to protest and we have to raise our voice. So I think this is evident, and they will hear our voice, and these officials will,
Okay.
or the organizing committee is going to get the.
All right. Ms. Anju Bobby George, I appreciate you joining us on CNN News 18.